alaikum. We have about 5 more minutes. I want to get those questions of you three that are in the aisle. We're going to see if we can give them some concise answers.
Assalamualaikum. I just have a comment. The sister who did fencing, she only did fencing because she knew it was going to cover her body.
Yeah.
And the other sport, it doesn't cover your body that much.
What's that?
And
Yeah.
any other sport.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum, and thank you very much for wonderful, wonderful presentation to this to our guests here who said that they get asked to cover their head. I'm a Muslim woman myself, another face of Muslim woman. I choose not to cover my head, but feel just as strongly that I am a good Muslim. So I do get asked the same question. Islam gives me the right also, and maybe at some point, if I choose to, I will. For now, I find modesty in other ways. I did a lot of work while I was in New York on this interfaith dialogue and work because New York was leading a lot of work on domestic violence to women. And the work started to really move, and we moved away from just focusing on the women to then having a dialogue between men and women. So that's what I want to add about. Yes, women have to find their identity, but so much of our identity is linked with our men in our family. And is that dialogue happening, and at what levels? Thank you.
Well, for me, very quickly, is that I think the American Muslim identity is being shaped around the engagement of men and women with dignity and a sense of respect. Some of the work that we do really involves, interfaith. Yeah, we do a lot of interfaith, but we also do intersex kind of, well, maybe that's not the word, right to say that. But we do a lot of lectures and things like that where we have both male and female involved and engaged. And I know that even though, in many communities, even, in Mississippi, they are more interested in maybe not having the inter-exchange between men and women, but there is an effort here to do that, and we do a lot of that in our work.
I mean, 40 years ago, if you went to any masjid in the country, you would be hard-pressed to find a woman on the board. Today, it's probably very likely that you're going to find a woman on the board. Not only are women on the boards, but they're also in the design committee. And so you're finding women in positions of decision-making much more. So there's naturally going to be a lot of discussion, especially around the area of violence in the home. So it's happening, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. This question is directed to Sister Akola, but a response from any other panelists would be acceptable. In your presentation, you mentioned a misperception of women, and you suggested that it might come from male-dominated thinking. And I guess that registered with me because I'm a male. So could you elaborate on what you thought that male-dominated thinking was that contributed to the misperception?
I think it's just the patriarchal thinking and interpretations of Quran and just the Islamic history. It's really done from a male perspective, unfortunately. There are now more women that are coming into the scholarship, and there are some that are interpreting the Quran with the looking at both sex as they do their interpretations. And so, I mean, she talked about the history of the majority communities with this misogyny. position, meaning that, you know, this whole idea of, you know, putting women in a lower status in their society. So all of that comes from that male dominated thinking, as opposed to that thinking that is presented in the Quran in terms of, you know, what, how women should be viewed as an equal part of men.